All right. Hello, everybody. It says I am live. So let me just take a minute here, try to get myself adjusted to this. I'm Kirsten Peck. I am the author here of the book, Betrayed by Trump. It's a question, it's the guide to self discovery and the rewards of a positive mindset. So the book, you can go get it on Amazon. It's $10, really economical, quick, easy read. It is full of questions and kind of journal prompts for you to sort this situation out. I it's a question mark. Is the president betraying us, betraying you, betraying me? Is that what is happening? So, as a teacher, inquiry is one of the first steps to education and to becoming more intelligent and more wise in your thinking. And it is a process that you go through. Hopefully, it is an ongoing process throughout your life because if you're not thinking and working on your brain, it's going to start to get a little mushy, and that's proven by research. And they're showing now that more time that we're spending on social media and more time with our phones, literally like reprogramming our brains, they are beginning to show a little bit of wear and tear. Let's just call it. And it's kind of like performance on a car. In fact, I'm going to take that note here because I'm trying to stay on track, stay focused here, and I want to keep the lines of communication open. So, we're going to talk about performance, kind of like performance of a car and performance of what's happened since you voted. And it's been a year now that we've had the president in office. He's had time to get his cabinet into place and to get his programs from Project 2025 into action. So now we are beginning to see it as it's unfolding. And I, as a writer, they say that writing is never really over, it's never really done, it's just kind of due. And so, kind of like on show business, it gets to be curtain time and you got to go out and do the show. So, I published the book last year. It was at the mark of about 100 days in office. And I was taking my social studies teacher background and English teacher background into watching the events unfold. And how are these situations continuing to happen? And it's been going on now for 10 years since President Trump came down that escalator, as the saying goes, good 10 years ago. Okay. So I kind of, as a teacher, I've been trained to step back from situations and assess them, check on the performance of, let's say, my students and how they're learning and practicing the skills and whether or not they are doing the steps the way that I've been instructing them to do. And if their performance is kind of falling off, obviously, as a teacher, I've been trained in stopping and checking for those breaks of the breakdown, right? Because it is again, this fine-tuned machine like a car. And and that is true with your brain. Your brain works on different levels and different speeds. They call them the depths of knowledge or the levels of thinking. That you do go from the very basic of recall. Oh, yeah, I know that's a cat. And then the more obvious, though, let me compare two cats. And then let me, invent and draw ways that we could have other ones, in this progression of things. Like the cars. There's the basic car, and then there's that super performance sports car. Okay. So this assessment piece of me stepping back and saying, in my classroom, this is reading standard number 6. and which is the process of doing the thinking and the process of reading and absorbing it, standard 6. And number 8, which is your sources and the validity of information and whether you're assessing a fact as a fact and an opinion as an opinion. And if it's an opinion, it has to come from a good source, not a bad source. Credibility is a thing, because lies are not helpful in the world. So I step back from that and I'm like, this is pretty simple. This is reading strategy number 6 and number 8. And how do I put that into practice? Because I have a solution that I think is really pretty simple and pretty easy for someone to pick up and go, yeah, wait a minute, hold on. Let me peel this back. Is it a betrayal? Or was I manipulated? Was I coerced and told things that I wanted to be true and I went along with it? And social pressure is a big thing. And now that's going to be a thing if I leave. And I mean, it's very complicated. And I know this is very complicated. Okay. So this is the guidebook. And after I published it, I kind of let it sit for a while because it needs work. It needs feedback. I'm a teacher. I need feedback. I need to get other people's voices happening. So I've proceeded to go along and get it out as best I can, talking to everybody that'll talk to me about it. And I went over this winter to Oslo, and kind of by coincidence, I went in and got the Nobel Center's Guide to Peace. And I like little books, if you can tell. And it proceeds to tell me exactly what I have to do. And basically, it's run my classroom, because it says in here, everybody has to talk. We have to listen to everybody. Everybody has to be included in order to get to peace. That's what it says in here. So truthfully, it kind of freaked me out, because I'm like, how am I ever going to do this one? How is that going to work? So I had to think about it a little bit, and I've managed to now come up with how I think this is going to work. And then I go, I get back on the race, back to the research, back to the philosophy side, back to the school teacher research, back to the philosophy and sociology and civics. And again, this breakdown of how do I fix it? How do I fix it? And it's reading standard 6 and reading standard 8, and that we have to talk to each other, and we have to work through and kind of get back to our personal values, the deep personal stuff about us. And so that's this piece of, and let me adjust this a second. That's this piece of being able to really say, I need respect in my life, and I need truth in my life, and I am respectful. I give respect forward, and I am truthful. I say things that are truthful. I am honorable. If I say I'm going to do something, you can be sure I'm going to do it. If I tell you I can't do something, then there's reasons why, and you have to give me that respect and that truth. And I have to do it with myself. We have to do it with ourselves. And so back to this valued centered piece of peeling it back and saying, things that I don't agree with, I really can't support. I can't do that. And that's what happened in teacher school with the bullying. I personally can't support bullying. And people who are bullies, I can't support that. I'm not on board with that. That bravado, that arrogance, that know-it-all. It's like, no, not for me. I don't see the value of that. I see the intimidation of it. And I see the manipulation of it. And that's not right. That's not fair. That's not what America is supposed to be. So the American dream and the American values of, I believe, the common good and the foundational documents like not only the Constitution, but the Magna Carta, which the King brought up the other day, and I about fell over. The King brought it up, and then I've been down in the archives. We have a copy of the Magna Carta in our archives in DC. It's down. Go look at it. It's spectacular. It's like in the dark catacombs of the archives. So this stuff is very real and it's very important. And the people that laugh about it and joke about it, I don't think that's really what that's about. And when I'm learning, I'm doing this research and all these terms come up about MAGA regret and MAGA voter regret and MAGA family leaving. MAGA family was a big one that keeps coming up. And community rejection. So yeah, community rejection is going to be a huge thing because it's your identity. That's related to how you see yourself, not only how you see yourself, but then how you see yourself in the world. It's a two-sided piece of this. And that's what gets me here to these higher levels of thinking and practicing what I preach. So I'm here in Puerto Rico, and our politics are a whole nother dimension of this. And that's part of why I'm here. I want to help the Puerto Rican people figure out what they want to do. Because I'm here, I start meeting people, and half of them, they can't agree what they want to do. So much less than half of their kids and the whole legacy of the diaspora, and half of them were in the States, and the back and forth of all of this. So if it starts here with a dialogue and a commitment to respect and truth, then I'm here and I want to be your friend and I want to talk about it and I want us to be able to figure it out. And it's a civics class, which is, it's kind of fun in some ways because you get to say the way you want the world to be. And so I'm here in Puerto Rico, and in the daytime I'm doing arts. And what I love about it, let me see if I can get this turned here a second. Yeah, I can. Sweet. Let me turn this here a second. All right. Here's why. Okay, here's why. When you're talking about your perspective and you go deep, that's understandable that you go from 2D to 3D is more dimension and more focus, right? And that if you really start to step back and you really start expanding into time and you're including the past and then you're including the future, some people would kind of say that's sort of getting to be 4D because you're adding how many things that you're looking at. Okay. And these are the levels of thinking. So this same idea here with your point of view, your opinion, everyone is entitled to having their opinion. So yeah. So what is your opinion? Tell me, what's your opinion? You're entitled to having your opinion. But you need to know, I'm pointing my finger here. You need to know, this is funny. It's very surface level. When you do that, that's very me, surface level. And I'm hoping, I wish it were value centered on your values like respect and like truth. Because if those are your grounding values, that's going to make your opinion be a little bit different. Your decisions then, this next level of thinking, you're going to accept things or you're going to not accept things against them because you're looking at it now with your values on your eyes. Is truth important to you? You're going to decide one way. If truth's not so important to you, maybe you're a liar. Maybe you like to scam people and you're on the down low and making a big buck. then you're not going to use that. And I think that this is a point that I really want people to come up and say to yourself, yeah, that's important to me. You personally, not everybody else, just you. And this thing gets to this next step of the drawing these conclusions, which is reading standard 6 and reading standard 8, which is my little notie over here to myself. When I realized that yesterday, I guess it was, I was sitting here looking at this. So, this drawing conclusions about when you start adding other sources of people, and he said they da 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 da, and nobody's going to want to have a blah blah blah, and the assumptions and the faulty thinking and these expectations, this stuff in here, this is where it gets mucked up. So, okay, I made a simple, here we go, I'm done. That's it. I have a really simple test for you to take. It's over on my website, betrayedbytrump.org. I'm calling it a maga compass. It's kind of like a pain factor. It's a would you rather. Is it good? Really good? Is it not so good? You decide. It's your decision. This is your life. Okay. And if you decide you want to work with me, keep going down that website page. You'll find another activity, a download activity about the book, more details about the book, and of course the link to the book. And I want you to come back here. I'm trying to get this channel going. I'm trying to get this conversation started because it's I think, an easy solution in that it's a pretty simple few activities, questions for yourself. It's not, there's no shame, there's no guilt. And I want you to check your biases. And I admit I have a bias. I'm trying to get this in this direction. This is a hypothesis of a solution. So that's what I'm about. And thank you for listening here and following along. And I'm light on my stream, but that's okay because it's going to take some time. I know it's going to take time. And this is new, and I need help with the tech. So young people, please reach out, help me with the tech. And older people, I'm an old lady, so I'd love to talk to you guys as well. Well, I'm looking into the data, and actually I got a lot of popped up with Seattle, which surprised me. Seattle, Washington, older people in Seattle, Washington are looking for me. Apparently, I'm here in Puerto Rico. That's why you can't find me, except online. So, betrayedbytrump.org is the website with all this information. And my regular daytime website is joywestpress.com. These books are also on Amazon. They also all link in together, joywestpress.com. Awesome. Have a great week. I will see you Tuesday next week. Please consider, if you're feeling you might have been betrayed, my book might help you kind of peel that back. And it's a lot of emotional stuff that we just are going to have to work through. So awesome. Thanks a lot. Have a great night. I'll see you around. Okay, bye. Love you, by the way. Let's work on this. Okay, bye.